I'm going to go to there, so I'm just going to kind of like...
Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay, so we're taking the Nazian view right now, which is from the front. The 2 points I need to make a line. If you remember, this is the BB I put on right where her ear connects to her face. And so right above that is going to be your atlas, so that's going to be the back point. The one in the front, if this is the bottom of her orbit, it's going to be about a ½ an inch above that. So if I'm about a ½ an inch above her orbit and a ½ an inch above where her ear meets her face, and connect those lines, connect those dots, that'll be the line I'm taking the picture down. Okay, so then we'll go over to her. And on Lindsay, those 2 points are here. Right here. So here's where her ear meets her face, and this is the bottom, or the inferior part of her orbit, so I'm just about a ½ an inch up from those 2 points. And that's where I'm going to center up from. So I'm going to make sure that her back just lightly touches the bucky here. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up the plane of the bucky, so the back of her head and the back of her shoulders hit about equal. It's okay if she tilts her head down a little bit forward. Now what we're doing here is I'm going to move the filters up so I can see project a shadow onto her face. So this faceplate here I'm going to use to make sure that she's in the center. So I'm just going to line it up about where her glabella is, or you can use her nose. If someone has a history of a broken nose, which I believe Lindsay does, then that's not a good thing, so you just use the glabella. Good. And you're just getting a rough estimate there. Put my line in place. So again, I'm just a ½ an inch above those 2 points. Good. And don't worry about where the light is or anything else, just get the string there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see where the string hits the film. And I'm going to put the center of the film up to where the string is. Okay, and again, everything's just a rough estimate at this point. Good. And everything's changing. And you'd want to instruct the patient too. Lindsay's actually already in that position, but have her look down towards the ground. Find a point about equal space between her knees. And she's already there. Good. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to draw this string, again putting it a ½ an inch above those 2 points. And I can see now I'm pretty close. I'm just about a ½ an inch too high here, so I'm going to lower the film down to that. And you're just constantly getting it as close as possible, each time just tweaking it just a little bit. Because when you change one thing, it's just going to change everything. Good. So there right now, the string is hitting the back of the film. It's going through those 2 points. Now what I need to do is make sure that the collimator is projecting the shadow onto that center of the film. So I'm going to lock the bucky down because that's in place. I'm going to lock this down because it's in place. And I'm just going to adjust that shadow mark, lower it down about a ¼ inch. There it is. Now that's perfect. And that much movement, since it was just that little bit, isn't going to affect anything else. What I'm doing here is I know that from that back point, that her atlas is a ½ an inch above where her ear connects to her face. So I'm going to put the head clamp, center it right on that point. You want to have the head clamps, the center of the head clamps right on the center of the atlas. And again, now I'm going to use that shadow again to see, so I just come from the front. I'm going to have it project right through the center of her nose, and it's almost perfect there. She's looking to the right-hand side just a touch, but it's almost perfect. So I'm going to recheck everything here. Center of the film. She's looking down a little too much, so I'm just going to move her chin up a bit. Right about there. Right there. Hold it right there. Perfect. Good. And I would just nudge that just a touch, about that much. Good. And that's perfect. She's ready to go. Make sure your filters are down, the shield is up, and I'm going to collimate in here to about 7, so it's a 7 by 12. Okay, and that's where you take it.